Hare Krishna, my name is Mahatma Das. I am serving in Sri Vrindavan Dham since 2006, and I have been asked by the temple management of ISKCON Vrindavan to interview some of Srila Prabhupada's disciples who were actually involved in Srila Prabhupada's final pastimes in 1977. So today we have His Grace Srutakirti Pr. Srutakirti Pr was Srila Prabhupada's servant for more than 2 years, from 1972 Janmashtami till 1975 June.
Yes.
Actually, the executive committee of the GBC wants your views concerning the poison issue,
Yes.
to help the devotees understanding the facts.
Okay.
So please keep it simple and clear in your
I'll do my best.
speech. So my first question to you will be, were you in Vrindavan in October and November 1977 when Srila Prabhupada was here?
At that time I was temple president in Hawaii, and I came just before Prabhupada went to London for the final trip to London. So that was towards the end of August 1977. And at that time, of course, I worked very closely with Upendra, he was here throughout the entire time. And of course, him and we were good friends. Sometimes we served Prabhupada together in Australia. And of course, at that time when I came immediately, he asked me to assist him, which was his kindness. He was doing everything. So I got to be with both of them and do some personal service for Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. Second question is, what made you come to Vrindavan at that time?
To see Srila Prabhupada. We all knew. I didn't really have too much information at that time. It was I know for most of us in the temples, we never thought that Srila Prabhupada would leave, even though he was very ill. I had experienced very similar situation in 1974 when Prabhupada came for the opening that didn't happen in August, Janmashtami of 1974. So Prabhupada came for the opening at that time. And of course there wasn't an opening. I was his personal servant, and he was very, very ill, to the point of me carrying him under his arms into the bathroom, out of the bathroom, wherever he was going. So it was we had the same kind of mentality. Prabhupada had become very sick, but we all, I say we all, means many of us, we thought Prabhupada would be here till he was perhaps 100 years old or so. For me, it was just knowing how much we needed him and couldn't imagine that he would leave. So even I was here at that time in August. I was here for 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, right up until the day he left for England. And, I was in that illusion that he wasn't going to leave us and that somehow or other everything was going to be okay. Although seeing the physical conditions, it should have been fairly obvious, I think, to me that he was preparing to leave. I'll stop there. I could go on. I'll just say that, even throughout my life, it's just, even though Prabhupada said so many times from the very beginning on the Vyasasan, when we were children, he would say at any time, I can leave, at any time you can leave. It's a very difficult thing to sink in. And like I say, over the decades, even I've been close to people dying, my wife, my mother, other people. It's the whole concept of death is so foreign to us in one sense because we don't die. So it was like that. I just didn't think he was going to leave. And then as he was feeling better, he wanted to make that final trip and travel. He talked about going to London, and then Gitanagari, and even Hawaii. He talked about that. And when he was planning the trip, I remember very specifically that to go to England required visas as well at that time, not just walking in and going. And they didn't have, some of them didn't have proper paperwork to go. And it was right here in this room. And I remember Prabhupada said to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, well, that's okay, he said, Srutakirti is here, he knows what to do, and he can come. And of course, they were aghast that the idea would say he would just go there. And whether he was thinking like that or not, for me, it was just filled me with such pride that Prabhupada said like that. You know, I just felt so comforted that he was okay with the idea that Srutakirti can come. He said everything will be okay. So that was also part of the Leela going on at that time.
Thank you. Next question is...
Oh, Shri Krishna. Very sorry for that. You can start that part again. Yes.
Were you aware that Srila Prabhupada came to Vrindavan at that time to conclude his pastimes on this planet?
Yes, somewhat aware that that was going on. Of course, we all, as you'll hear from Guru Narnava soon, the chronology of that, so I don't need to repeat it, but when he left Rishikesh, that was his idea, that he was preparing to end his pastimes here. So that was already known by those who came with him as May, which was 6 months before he left. So he was thinking like that. And for me, it's also, and it was just since being here this trip, I thought Prabhupada was coming here for that purpose. And I said there was never a question, well, we'll stop in Delhi and we'll go to the hospital there, they can do physicals, they can do this, we can look, and maybe that was never going to happen. I mean, I've always said from the beginning, being with Prabhupada for a long time, that I said he had another mantra. He had the Hare Krishna mantra, and one of his other mantras, which he didn't say often, but he said it, and it was don't take me to a hospital. So for him and for us, hopefully we'll come to that realization when the it's temporary. That was Prabhupada's, that's what he was here to teach us. That was one of the main points in philosophy every day in class was it's all very temporary. We're going to leave. I'm an old man, I can be gone at any minute. Please take what I've given you, keep it very protected, don't change it, and move on in Krishna consciousness. So I understood it, that he was coming here to leave. And again, he didn't seek out, like he told me, and we all know also he said 3 things keep me alive: my Ayurvedic medicine, morning walk, and massage. So of course I was involved in 2 of those, always the morning walk and his massage, and also his diet. Prabhupada lived a very Ayurvedic lifestyle. He didn't preach Ayurveda. Sometimes he would give us little snippets of some Ayurvedic wisdom. Like with me, he would say so many things. Morning sun is good, like he would take massage. He said morning sun gives you energy. Afternoon sun takes away your energy. You should eat, the higher the sun is in the sky, that's where your main meal is. When the fire of the sun is there, your fire of digestion is there. He would say, Ayurveda, you go to bed by 10. You get a minimum of 4 hours sleep, but up by 6 o'clock. So all these things he was doing. I saw him, how he ate, the way he ate, everything. He lived the Ayurvedic lifestyle. So even when it came to trying to become better, or to heal the situation, he only sought Ayurvedic help. And the one thing I see also with Srila Prabhupada, just like we hear, like I went to a Kaviraj yesterday, I went to 2 of them yesterday, because I have chronic illness, I had some acute illness, and I just got so tired of it, I just thought, and yesterday seemed to be the day. I don't know how it happened after 1 month being here, but it happened yesterday. And my wife and I went. Now he gave me a prescription to do different things and drinking milk with ghee and all. And then she said, well, I also should drink milk. And he said, no. He said, you have no digestive ability for milk. So I know at one point Prabhupada took this medicine, which they said was like the milk of the lion. And this one Kaviraj provided that. But then after, another one said, he cannot follow that. If you're in such a weak condition, Prabhupada's body was skin and bones, so giving him such a strong medication wasn't advisable from a Kaviraj of the highest level who understood. But others wouldn't think like that. So to me, when I hear this word about poison, Prabhupada was saying the medicine is poison. It was the medicine that was poison. It wasn't something he could handle. In 1973 in Calcutta, I was bringing Prabhupada, his sister was cooking for him every day. Heavy Bengali style cooking, lots of mustard oil, fried things in mustard oil. And there were 2 times during that time. The one time Prabhupada, I came in with their plates and I didn't even get to put it down on his table. And Prabhupada said, don't bring that in here. He said, you eat it. He said, my sister, she's trying to kill me. He said, she's trying to poison me. Well, she wasn't trying to poison him. She was giving him what he loved. This is Prabhupada loved. And he couldn't avoid eating it if it was in front of him. So he wouldn't even let me bring it in because he knew if he put it down next to what I cooked, which was bland, basically, very little spice, and put that, he would eat it. So he said to me, you eat it. He said, she's trying to kill me. And I laughed. I said, but I can't eat. I said, I'm already sick. Well, he said, well, distribute it to anyone. He said, but don't bring it in here. So I know Bengali a little bit, being with Prabhupada, his whole understanding of things and how he spoke and how he used wordage, that even saying he was being poisoned didn't mean specifically someone was trying to kill him with poison. It meant whatever was acting on the body was in a poisonous way, which is, again, Prabhupada was a pharmacist, for his grahasta life. He would use words like this regularly. So to me, that never even, couldn't imagine the idea. What to speak of Bhakti Charu Swami? To make him part of a conspiracy, he was a new devotee. He was around for a year. And to think he was involved with all of these other people who were also, beyond him. Brahmananda Prabhu. He would have chopped any head off of anyone if he thought there was any foul play going on. And that Prabhupada he didn't have anyone he could trust to talk to, even someone like me. He would confide in me at times. There was never such indication, and this was in September. So these things were apparently going on, but it's all nonsense. Is all I could say is nonsense, and it comes from a very painful spot from these people for whatever reason, and so that's it. That's what I have to say.
Coming to that part is
Yes.
the last question.
Yes.
That there is some speculation that Srila Prabhupada was poisoned by his disciples. What is your feeling about that?
Yes. From the very beginning, we poisoned Srila Prabhupada, accepting us as disciples, he would say. He said to me in 1974 when he was ill, he said, this illness is because, he said, 80% of the leaders are not following. And he said it to me on multiple occasions. So in that way, we were always poisoning Srila Prabhupada with our bad behavior. It was one thing to accept us as disciples. We understood he took the karma. But it was another thing that as disciples that we were continuing to create pain for him. So I think if anyone wants to think like that, they should just look at themselves instead of looking others who poison Prabhupada. I was touching his body every day, a big nonsense, and he was absorbing it. Like I gave that class the other day. So Prabhupada said, massage is passive wrestling. You do all the work, I get all the benefit. But I said that's not true. I was getting all the benefit, being able to touch his lotus form. And to think, whatever happened, it was Krishna's arrangement. Prabhupada accepted as Krishna's arrangement, but I have the 0% belief that such a, because I knew I was with these people. Not at the end I wasn't with them, but I knew all of them. I knew Kirtanananda and Brahmananda and Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Hansaduta and Bhagavan and Bhavananda. I knew them all very, very well. And they were all very powerful, you could say heavy personalities, but the idea that anyone would want that as Srila Prabhupada to me is just beyond belief, literally beyond belief. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.